Dive for cover as I catch the recoil. We lock and load. You lick your wounds as we fire like shrapnel. We lock and load. Dive for cover as I catch the recoil. We lock and load. You lick your wounds as we fire like shrapnel. We lock and load. Dive for cover as I catch the recoil. We lock and load. You lick your wounds as we fire like shrapnel. We lock and load. Dive for cover as I catch the recoil.
Hi, I'm John Cantley from Two Wheels Only magazine. You know, there's been a lot of very good sports bikes for sale here in the UK in the last decade or so. A lot of power, a lot of performance. But there's been one model range that's outsold and outdone them all, the Suzuki GSX-R family. It all started back in 1985 with the original Gsxr 750G, which even then rewrote the rules. It was lighter, faster, more compact than anything currently available at that time. And now in 2001, we've got the full Gsxr family, from the 600, 750, and then on to the ultimate big brother, the Gsxr 1000. Now this is the baby of the Gsxr range, the Gsxr 600. I absolutely love this bike. It may be the smallest, but this is a proper superbike in every way, shape and form. 599 cc's of fuel-injected, rip-roaring power come from this puppy. This year, the Gsxr 600 gets fuel injection, just like its bigger brothers. 38mm throttle body sitting there, again using the SDTV, Suzuki's dual throttle valve assembly, for very smooth low to mid-range power. Just feed the throttle in and it gives it much more mid-range than previous 600s have with their carburetors. The motor on the 600 is an absolute jewel of a thing. It's a tiny DOHC 16-valve parallel 4 liquid-cooled motor, fed from the front by the ram air intakes into the 38mm fuel injectors, and that through this very compact and lightweight exhaust. Now the bike itself weighs 163 kilograms, which is nothing when you consider that a British superbike race bike, fully kitted out and ready to go, is only 165 kilos. So it gives you an idea just how light these bikes are. Forks on Gsxr 600 are 45mm in diameter and right way up. Attached to them is a set of 4-piston Tokico calipers biting on enormous 320mm discs. Now, that's a lot of braking power for what is, after all, just a 600. Steering geometry is the same as the other Gsxr range, the 750 and the 1000, so you're going to get that beautiful steering response everywhere. But the 600 is shorter by 10mm, wheelbase is 1400mm, so this thing's going to handle really sharply. At the back we've got a shower shock specifically made for the 600, and that's bolted onto this beautiful alloy swinging arm. So all in all, the 600 chassis is every bit a match for the engine, and you know this thing's going to cook on a racetrack all the road.
think people who are just getting back into biking, I think a 600 Suzuki is ideal bike to start with.
The 600 again for this year is very impressive. The race prep bike is already a winner on the racetrack. The street bike again looks exactly the same, but with slightly different suspension and road tyres, maybe a little bit slower around the racetrack, but general feeling and handling is very similar.
So what is it about the 750? It's the racing heritage. Been around since 1985, been raced by everyone that I can think of and a few more besides. The bike absolutely howls from, let's have a look here, 10,000 upwards. It absolutely screams. Top speeds we've tested well in excess of 170 miles an hour. Now, unlike the GSX-R, it doesn't have a power valve in the exhaust to help boost the low and mid-range power, but it doesn't really need it. The throttle response is so smooth with that SD-TV fuel injection system that it pulls beautifully through the mid-range. Suzuki reduced the size of the engine a great deal over previous incarnations of the GSX-R 750. The valve angles are very narrow, the whole top end of the engine is very, very small and compact. Now the brakes on the GSX-R are using 4-piston Tokico calipers, not 6-pistoners on the GSX-R. That's because there's a little less speed and a little less weight to carry around. It's only 166 kilograms dry, this bike, which is absolutely incredible for a 750. Like the other GSX-Rs, we've also got this huge aluminium beam frame here, which is going to give the rider all the confidence and all the feedback he needs, whether he's on the road or the track. Wheelbase is the same as the GSX-R at 1,410 millimeters. Keeping the back end in check is this beautiful GP style, massively braced swing arm. And that's running off a shower shock, unlike the other bikes. It's on a Kayaba on the GSX-R. Beautifully made shower shock just for the 750. Again, fully adjustable for rebound, compression damping and preload, so you can set it up just for you. A proper race bike on the road, the GSX-R 750.
As soon as you get on the 750, it automatically feels lighter straight away. It just the balance of it, just sitting on it. It's got so much low down, 3,000 revs. You can pull away and you've not got a problem. This is it's just awesome everywhere, really. Just the power.
I've ridden the full factory GSX-R 750 Superbike, and apart from really having slick tyres and a little bit more trick suspension, all of the other bikes are so capable.
I walked into Suzuki, I saw a blue and white GSX-R, and it just grabbed me by the you-know-what. And I think that's what a bike's got to do. You know, it's got to be sort of, I want that bike, and it's the only bike I've ever wanted, to be quite honest.
A GSX-R may be brand new, but this engine is already legendary. First thing you see when you look at the bike is these beautiful titanium nitrided 43mm forks. Now it looks dead smart, but that gold isn't just there for show. The titanium nitride, what it does is stop stiction over bumps, so what it means is better feedback and better feel for the rider. More gold up front in shape of these Tokico 6-piston calipers. Now the GSX-R is the only bike on the GSX-R range using 6-piston calipers, biting on these 320mm discs. Loads of power, loads of feedback at the lever. On the racetrack or the ride, it was more than enough. What we've got here is a 988cc inline-4 DOHC water-cooled engine, just like all the other Suzukis, but this is packing some extra punch. It's important to remember that it was designed exactly in conjunction with the GSX-R 750, so it's tiny, same dimensions. I think it's a couple of kilos more in overall weight, but it's a tiny engine making that sort of power. It's got the power valve system on the exhaust here, which helps make it really rideable in town or at low-speed situations. Now, up the front here, it's fed by this ram air inlet, So air's rushing straight into here, straight into the pressurised airbox, into a bank of 42mm fuel injectors, which we can't see tucked away there. Now they're using Suzuki's dual throttle valve assembly, which is a very clever piece of kit. Basically means that one of the throttle valves is controlled by the rider, the other by an onboard computer. What it means is smooth mid-range power, so the GSX-R 1000 drives beautifully everywhere. None of this snatchiness you sometimes get with fuel injection systems on modern sports bikes. To go with that very serious engine is a very serious chassis. Look at the size of these alloy beams, developed straight off the RGV 500 Grand Prix race machine. And look at this swing arm, massively braced. There's even a beautiful great GSX-R logo, which you can't see tucked away in here. Now it's all very short, compact, same wheelbase again as the GSX-R 750. So again, that means loads of response and feedback to the rider. You can feel exactly what the bike's doing. You can throw it into a corner as quick or as slow as you like, and the bike will let you know exactly what's going on. At the back here, we've got this fully adjustable Kyobo rear race shock. It's adjustable for rebound, compression and preload, and you can set it up perfectly for you. So if you're on the road, lovely. If you then go to a racetrack, a little bit more rebound, a little bit more compression if you want to get it set up just right for you. The GSX-R 1000 is just ready to win races out of the crate. If you look at the Superstock Championship Series this year, it's already doing just that.
I travel at the speed of sound. This is my background. No possible bring down. My guilt is burning. I travel at the speed of sound.
Yeah, I would recommend the GSX-R 1000 to experienced riders.
The 1000 is just so close to the superbike. It's like a superbike was 2 or 3 years ago. And I'm sure if you put slick tyres on, the second or a second and a half difference in lap times there is would soon be made up.
I love the handling of it. It's a revelation compared with my R1, it really is. And the speed as well. It feels a lot quicker. So.
I absolutely love the race bike, and I mean hopefully next week at Cadwell Park we'll be able to have a go on the road bike as well, just to see what it's really like. If it's anything like the race bike, it'll be just the best.
Carl, we've just sent you out for a dozen or so laps on the new GSX-R 600 road bike. What do you make of it?
Yeah, it's fantastic. Just what I thought it'd be like, and a bit soft on the suspension, but it's going to be for that because it's a road bike.
You'd expect that on a road bike, wouldn't you? How about the power and the performance of the engine? How did it compare to your race bike?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, top end speed, I think it's near enough the same.
And what about the suspension and the brakes and all that? You know, a million miles away or just about the same as your race bike?
Yeah, I mean the brakes they're same as the road bike.
So is it fair to say that you could take the number plate off this bike and do pretty well in the Supersport 600 race?
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, I don't know because I ain't done that, but I would think you'd be top 15. I'd have thought, yeah, for sure.
Mr. Crawford, sir, you've been out on the 750 road bike now. What do you make of it?
Yeah, very good. Impressed with it, definitely.
But a lot of power down on your GSX-R race bike, yeah?
Yeah, to be fair, out of the full range, this is obviously the most loosely based one, superbike, to this road bike version. But it's a great foundation, and you can see now why the race bike's so good.
So the chassis, the actual frames and that, so it's exactly the same here as on your race bike, is it?
Yeah, and the rules, you're allowed light modifications, but it's basically got to be as you buy it out of the shop. So yeah, it's if it isn't a good road bike to start with, it will never be a race bike.
What is it with GSX-Rs?
There just must be somebody at Suzuki who knows what they're doing when they're designing them. I don't know why they're so good. It's the first race bike I ever had, actually, was a GSX-R 750. I bought it second hand, obviously, and yeah, it was a fantastic bike then, although I didn't know much. And I've landed working for the factory riding this 750 in the superbike class, which is a dream come true for me.
But as a road bike, this 750, what do you make of it?
I think the most impressive thing about it as a road bike is if you want to ride it as a road bike, it's fine, but if you want to start opening the throttle, then it's definitely a race bike. So I think that's where Suzuki have got it right. It does both equally as well. So yeah, I would have to say as a road bike, I think it's very good. In fact, I'll have it if you don't want it.
John, I saw you having some fun out there on the GSX-R road bike.
Yeah, bike's awesome. Feels exactly the same as my race bike.
You're saying is their rear a little bit softer or soggier? I guess it would be for popping down to the shops or riding on the road.
Yeah, it is a little bit softer, obviously, for road use. It has to be. But no, I'm sure a couple of tweaks here and there, and it will be on lap record pace.
I saw you coming out the corners sometimes, getting a little bit squirrely there.
Yeah, it's you haven't quite got the same rubber on as the race bikes have, but I'm sure with the proper rubber on, it'll hook up nicely.
Coming up over the mountain, you got a bit frisky a couple of times.
Yeah, I think as I say, it is a race bike, and you get it a bit wrong sometimes, and I think it is going to wag its head a tad. But no, it feels really good. It feels really sure-footed. And as I say, it is very, very similar to my race bike.
You haven't still got the speedo attached then, have you?
No, I don't want to know what speed I'm doing. I might frighten myself.
All right, mate, well, good luck for that, and thanks very much today.
Cheers, thank you.
So is it the 600 you're after? Maybe the smallest GSX-R, but it's by no means the slowest. I mean, around the track here at Cabol today, this thing has been absolutely tearing up the tarmac. A serious superbike for anyone. Maybe the 750, 20 horsepower more, only 3 kilograms more. You've got that World Superbike and British Superbike heritage on this bike. I had an absolute storm on this thing ripping up the circuit. The top end power, mid-range, and the chassis to go with it. Or if you want to go for the ultimate, you've got the GSX-R 1000, the new Mac Daddy, the big boss. 152 horsepower and only 170 kilograms makes this a very serious proposition, which may mean, unless you're a more experienced rider, it may not be for you. Around the racetrack today, this thing was every bit as quick around the corners as the 600 and 750, and down the straights it rips off. The GSX-R range now is 16 years old, and they keep getting better. Doesn't matter if you choose the 6, the 7, or the 1000, they're going to rip. People who want a bit of super sport performance are going to go for the 6. People who want that same performance with a little bit more mid-range and emulate their World Superbike heroes are going to go for the 7. People who want the ultimate power, the ultimate packaging, and go for the 1000. The bottom line is, doesn't matter which one you choose, you're going to be winning.